All right, you guys, what's going on? It's your boy Tam. Got one of my favorite people in the world corresponding, Migs in the house. So we gonna talk about whatever that was we saw a couple of hours ago. But I mean, at the end of the day, I'm glad it's over. I mean, I'm just glad it's over with. I think now we can go back to actually watching real boxing now that this charade with fake Paul is over. So, according to reports, he went to the hospital because he suffered a broken jaw.
Mm.
So, Migs, I'm gonna let you start it off, and then and then I'm gonna pick up after you and give my thoughts. So, just break down whatever you thought that you saw, and
Oh
just
man. Oh
I
man.
mean, go ahead, man. Go ahead.
All right. I did a little synopsis on my channel for those that are going to be watching the playback. There's going to be a few people in here live. Channel is what's titled on the on my name tag on the screen. I don't know what you would call it, but
Subscribe to his channel, please.
yeah. Let's get the numbers up. But listen, man. That was a classic. That is. First of all, I just want to say you heard me say this a couple 30 minutes ago whenever we was on the phone. That was terrible acting by Anthony Joshua. That's a classic work shoot for all my wrestling fans out there. Town, we come from that era, from that time period where we were watching wrestling probably every Saturday morning. Um, man, I just think that this was just a complete, for lack of better words, and sorry for the language, it was just a shit show. That fight there was not a fight. That wasn't even a spectacle. It really was worse than the Mike Tyson fiasco. For Anthony Joshua to be perceived as one of the top, one of the cream of the crop, for lack of a better word, heavyweights, and to go in there to let this last anything more than 2 rounds, and to have this dude out here doing whatever he was doing, running away and this and that. It's just a stain on the sport of boxing. I just, like Town said, I know Town's a little bit more happier than I am because this might be the beginning of the end of Jake Paul. But the fact that this even was allowed to happen, and it's with a heavyweight at that, I just feel like this was just a grand play by the Grand Wizard, Eddie Hearn himself, in order to propel AJ and get interest into his next event, which will be Tyson Fury, whatever time it is next year in the UK. It draws more attention to him, and what better place to do it than on American soil? And who else better to use than a popular Disney Channel YouTube, failed Disney Channel YouTube star in Fake Paul. So I don't know what the purpose of all of this was. The event and the whole was boring. I was fighting my sleep. I done had about 4 cups of coffee. Um, it was just a terrible outcome. Now, the fact that Jake Paul got quote unquote knocked out, dropped a few times, I guess you could say it's a good thing. I expected the same thing if he had went in there with Javante Davis. He actually had to fight a real active fighter, not a 57-year-old Mike Tyson who hadn't been in the ring in over 20 years. So I expected this to happen regardless of who he fought, what professional fighter he expected to fight. But nonetheless, I still do not comply or agree with whatever the hell we just watched and witnessed on TV. Town, you get to cook now.
Well, I mean, I see it a little different, but I understand where you come from. I see it as an ends to a mean. Listen, anybody with common sense know that Anthony Joshua carried that goofy ass white boy. And before I get back to Anthony Joshua, I just want to say from me to Jay Leon Coon, motherfuck you, and for real, motherfuck you for even working with that saltine, because at the end of the day you disgrace yourself because one, Jake Paul, I talked about this earlier, it was a lot of symbolism. Now, some people told me that he was like wearing something, trying to, make fun of the Black Panthers. I didn't catch that because I wasn't paying that much attention
What
to
was
fake
this?
Paul. Then he come out dressed as Hulk Hogan, and everybody knows Hulk Hogan was exposed as a known racist.
Absolutely.
Then he walks to the ring with 6ix9ine. So we already knew it was gonna go bad for Jake Paul anyway. So now 6ix9ine can go back to whatever snitch rock he crawled from under. But like I said, I see this as an ends to a means because, like I said, we all know now that the gig is up with Jake Paul. If you want to continue to be a promoter, that's cool that you're promoting women's boxing. That's cool that you have provided basically, a path for women's boxing, a clear path to elevate women's boxing. So I congratulate you for that. But that's about it. We all know that Jake Paul doesn't stand a chance against the actual active fighter. We all know what happened with Mike Tyson. So now we know for a fact that Jake Paul can threaten legal action against whoever he wants. The gig is up with him. We all knew, everybody knew once he fought an active fighter, an actual active fighter, we knew this was going to happen. The problem that I had with, the whole thing was AJ could have ended this fight earlier than the 6th round. But, I already know that they basically told him, or maybe allegedly, maybe he knew to at least carry it to make it somewhat intriguing. And it wasn't intriguing. Jake Paul, after a while, you could tell he wanted a way out of this fight because he started stumbling. He was faking like his leg was hurt and everything. And it got to the point, like you said, it got pathetic. And you was like, okay, this just needs to end. Could AJ just put this dude out of his out of his misery? And, he basically got rid of him in 6th round. But listen, we all know that AJ was pulling back on his punches. AJ could have really hurt Jake Paul if he wanted to. We all know if Jake Paul got hit with something real meaningful, I saw so many missed opportunities to where AJ could have ended that fight. And we all know that AJ was holding back. We all know that AJ could have did some serious damage to Jake Paul, up to probably taking his life or making him a vegetable, making him the new version of Pritchard Cologne. No disrespect. No, I'm not. I'm just keeping it 100. We all know, everybody knows with common sense that Jake Paul could have got turned into a vegetable. But at the end of the day, I'm glad that Anthony Joshua ended this charade. So now we can at least prepare for an actual fight that we will have some interest in. And that would be the Tyson Fury fight. As far as Jake Paul goes, like I said, this is the end of the road, as Boys II Men sung many moons ago. It's just the end of the road. It's just no way you can rebrand him because nobody's going to take him serious. Even though AJ took 6 rounds to get rid of him, even though you can make an argument that Jake Paul was on his bicycle, Jake Paul was doing so much backing up. I thought it was like a revamped version of John Travolta in Saturday Night Fever. He was just doing so much, or he just looked like he was auditioning for, a new version of You Got Served. He was just doing so much backpedaling and dancing and running around. It just got to the point to where you just knew that he was overmatched. You knew he couldn't do nothing with AJ. And the sad part about it is you got people that actually, and thank God that this wasn't no pay-per-view fight, because I guarantee you people would have been asking for their money back. And I think Netflix is probably going to tell Jake Paul, listen, dude, we've had enough of this.
And let's just speaking of Netflix, let's just get into the semantics of things, because a lot of people, this is why we're here, right, Tom? We're here to bring these people some information. So let's just put things into perspective, right? We're gonna talk about this fight and we're gonna talk about Netflix. We know Netflix, they're in the business of getting subscribers, getting eyes onto their channel, getting subscriptions, and elevating their platform. Sports is the new thing for Netflix this year, which is coming to an end next week. We know that the fight with Gervonta was supposed to take place. It probably would have had a little bit more intrigue because there was a lot more vitriol involved in the fight. For whatever reason, the fight was canceled. Now, I am in no way, shape, no one on this panel out of the two of us is over here condoning any type of acts that Gervonta Davis was accused of. We're not going to say what the acts were. But to my recollection and to Towns' knowledge, I'm pretty sure that a civil suit does not garner any type of jail time or any type of reprimands that can stop an event like this with tens of hundreds, potentially hundreds of millions of dollars in revenue on the line. The fact that this fight got stopped before, no major announcement, nothing like that, the media and press tour was already on the way. It should tell you guys one thing and one thing only. Tickets wasn't moving the way that they should. AJ was brought in to save the show because they knew that he had a UK fan base that would travel to the venue to support him. You guys also have to remember, Town, do you remember the last time AJ fought on American soil? Who he fought?
Ruiz, right?
Andy Ruiz. Do you remember the result of that fight?
Yeah, he got beat the fuck up, if I'm not mistaken.
He got beat from pillar to post by a guy that was on 2 weeks' notice that had already fought 3 weeks prior. This was the perfect strategy and opportunity for Anthony Joshua to right all of his wrongs. He was embarrassed. He was looked at as the next, despite what everybody in this chat, everybody that's going to be listening on replay, the two people here on this panel, we knew who the man was in the heavyweight division 5 years ago. It was Deontay Wilder. Despite the fact that he had only one belt compared to 4, he was the man. The greater public wanted AJ to be the man at the heavyweight division, and he lost his aura, status, his glow the day that the Pillsbury Doughman put him down 3 to 4 times in the ring and embarrassed him in the middle of my city, New York City. The only way that AJ could have got his gumption back, could have got that aura back, got the mystique back. They tried it with Ngannou, and it didn't work. It was to take out the villain, the black hat in the sport of boxing. And the black hat in the sport of boxing isn't Gervonta Davis. It's not Shakur Stevenson. Damn sure ain't Devin Haney. And it's not even Ryan Garcia. It's the guy, Jake Paul, who brought celebrity bullshit into the sport, who was one of the 3 main guys, along with his brother and the KSI guy. They brought celebrity boxing into the sport, and what some purists may say, ruined the sport and turned it into a clown show. So AJ had the opportunity to wipe the slate clean, restore and reset boxing. That's probably where Town is coming from, if I'm not mistaken, Town. That's probably the way you looking at it. But the way I look at it is the evil mastermind and the used car salesman, Eddie Hearn, is back at it again, because he's trying to sell us an old Ford and tell us that it's a Bentley. And that's Anthony Joshua. You trying to get us to believe that Anthony Joshua's back again. We done seen this same song and dance before. You trying to convince us that this man is actually a contender. And we know that he ain't going to get no goddamn belt off no damn Usyk. We know that if he would have stepped into the ring in his prime with Deontay Wilder, he would have been sparked out in 2 minutes and 30 seconds, similar to goddamn the rest of the victims there. He ain't going to go in there and do nothing with no damn Fury. Because Fury ain't done. He ain't really looked done his last fight, to be honest. He just couldn't beat Usyk. And we already seen that AJ couldn't beat no damn Dubois. So why the hell would he be able to beat Usyk? But now, to the casuals, not to y'all that's in this chat that got some damn sense, to the casuals, you may think, well, listen, if AJ done wiped up and did all this, let me go bet my money on AJ versus Tyson Fury. Come on now. Y'all got to have some sense now. Come on now. Like, we don't. Town, who you expect to win that fight moving forward?
I mean, my heart. I mean, for obvious reasons, I'm gonna be going with AJ, but I still think what's left of Tyson Fury can beat what's left of AJ. The AJ we saw was, like I said, wasn't his best version, but we knew just 50% of AJ could beat fake Paul.
I think 10% of AJ could have beat fake Paul.
So I get what we saw tonight, but like I said, it was time for this. It was time for this to end. It was time for this to end, but it's good that AJ was the one to end this charade with Jake Paul. And AJ at this point in his career, he's not what you call elite anymore. I mean, Tyson Fury, I think, still got a little bit left in the tank. But then I will say this much.
Mm-hmm.
I will say this much about Tyson Fury. You have to wonder if Tyson Fury can at least get in reasonable shape for this fight, because Tyson Fury hasn't fought in a while neither. So there's still is this question mark surrounding what type of Tyson Fury that you will see.
You're right.
I do think that AJ has a puncher's chance against Tyson Fury, but we have to see. I mean, if I was a gambling man, I probably would favor Tyson Fury to win the fight. But then, like I said, styles make fights. You may see a different type of AJ. I mean, Tyson Fury has been floored before. He's been badly hurt because, to be honest with you, we all know that Tyson Fury should have lost that fight to Deontay Wilder, that first fight, which I think that altered boxing a little bit, because if Jack Reese did what he was supposed to do, which is call a halt to the fight, then who knows? Because then we could have possibly let me explain this much to you. I think if Jack Reese would have did the right thing, which is to waive off the fight, I think it would have forced the public to demand Anthony Joshua versus Deontay Wilder. I'm not going to forget. Now, I'm happy that Anthony Joshua got rid of Jake Paul, but I'm not going to forget how him and Eddie Hearn played games in making that fight. I'm not going to also forget that Al Heyman played a big role in that fight, falling through because he shouldn't have trusted Eddie Hearn. They should have never sent Charles Martin over there in good faith, believing that Eddie Hearn would do the right thing, which would make the Deontay Wilder fight. We all know that AJ really just did not want any parts of Deontay Wilder.
Not only Deontay Wilder, let's not forget, he didn't want any parts of Luis Ortiz either, because Luis Ortiz was AJ's mandatory for like 2 years.
Yeah, and that's the thing. And Deontay Wilder fought Ortiz twice.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Knocked him out. He knocked him out twice.
Yep. So we can't forget the little ploys and the little tactics that Eddie Hearn was doing to keep AJ squeaky clean, so that he could just pick up the belts along the way.
Yeah, like I said, when they sent Charles Martin over there, and he was a PBC fighter, and I'm gonna tell you right now, we both know that Deontay Wilder, he felt betrayed by Al Heyman. And him and Al Heyman's relationship was never the same after that. Mm-hmm. Because, and him and Al Heyman, they was just never the same. We all know that it's documented that Deontay Wilder and Al Heyman don't see eye to eye. So, and I understand why. Yeah, and I understand why Deontay Wilder has the feelings he has towards Al Heyman, because he screwed over a brother. But then Al Heyman has a history of looking out for those Mexicans and shit. So
you need me to start naming them, because I'll name off who Al Heyman's favorite fighters is. Come on, there's one fighter who named his son after Al Heyman.
Leo Santa Cruz, because and that's also why he got into it, and that's also why he fell out of favor and got into it with the Russells, because Gary Russell Jr. was begging for that Leo Santa Cruz fight, and he basically was passing Gary Russell Jr. over. He basically was saving him for Tank. So, with that being said, Destiny got offset because that, and I ain't talking about the rapper neither, because AJ and Deontay Wilder, that was a fight that was supposed to happen for Undisputed. That was our fight for the culture, and it got screwed up.
That should have been it. That could have been
that should have been a trilogy.
That really could have been a trilogy. And then look, even had you had that fight, you could have at least got a rematch or a trilogy with Fury right there. And Wilder probably wouldn't even be out here still boxing after that because of all the fights that he had in between. He could have just did the cleanup with Fury, regardless of how it turned out. He could have had 2 trilogies, and that he probably would have been set for life. Just like you said, that whole era of PBC boxing, it was filled with a lot of what ifs, and that's what that whole stable and promotion, television network, whatever you want to call it, is. It's really based on what ifs. We never got Jarrett Hearn versus Charlo. We never got Lara versus the Charlos at 60 or 54. We never got Spence and Thurman. It's just we never even got a Thurman versus Sean Porter rematch, which was a fight that it needed a rematch. That whole promotional company is just a bunch of what ifs.
Yeah, that was a razor. When I say that was a razor thin fight in favor of Errol Spence. But then, as far as that fight go, that's just one of the many issues that happened with the PBC, which led to their demise with all these major networks, to where basically a lot of these major networks, and including the sports networks like ESPN, they don't even mention boxing on their platforms. Now, they probably talked about this fight because this was considered a high-profile fight, even though
crossover fight, whatever you want to call it.
I'm trying to figure out, why is this a high-profile fight when you basically got, basically a dude who was really a YouTuber and a failed Disney actor. But, from what I saw today, we learned a lot about Jake Paul, and he has a very questionable personality.
And he definitely got one of the top coons behind him. I mean, the way that Jay Leon Love was behaving reminded me of Steven from Django and Leonardo DiCaprio when Candyland, the owner of Candyland, got shot.
Oh, this Candyland, nigga. So I know Samuel L. Jackson was acting in that movie, but his character really disappointed me, because I almost thought, damn, his acting was a little too good in that movie. But but that's why they call Samuel L. Jackson a Methodist actor. Him and Morgan Freeman, because I really bought into that character. I had to remember that he's just acting. I had to, because for a minute I was like, damn.
Remember when the nigga Jamie Foxx shot him, and he said, "Oh no, Cal."
Man, Jayon Love was looking like, he was looking like he lost his best friend. He was looking like, damn, it's over with now. And Jay Leon Love, I think he knows what's in store for him come tomorrow. Because I'm pretty sure people gonna go on his Instagram, because I'm definitely gonna go on his Instagram. I definitely,
Yo, listen, Tom. The nigga Jay Leon Love, I think Jake Paul said, "I think my jaw's broken." That nigga Jay Leon Love took a rag out of his pocket and wiped that man's mouth.
Yeah, he went full fledged. Dude from Malcolm X. Like when he said, "Mr. Cooper, good white folks." I mean, Jay Leon Love looked pathetic, and
he looked like he wanted to grab the mic and say, "Is we okay, boss? We sick? We good, boss? Is we hurt?"
And that's the thing though. Jay Leon Love, that was like the highlight of his career, because he wasn't shit as a fighter. I'm talking about for real. He was like Jay Leon Love. He was like those Jordans that you buy from the flea market, where the Michael Jordan logo is so bad, the Jumpman logo is just like so bad to where you could just take one look, just be like, nah, you know how, yeah.
Jay Leon Love, the highlight of his career outside of the Sambo shit that he did tonight was probably the ass whooping he took from David Benavidez, or the one that he took from Peter Quillen. I don't know which one was worse, but then he had the nerve. Remember, leading up to this fight, y'all, I need y'all to remember, Leon Love had the nerve to call Timothy Bradley a coon because he was married to a Mexican woman. I'm not one to tell anybody who they should marry. Whoever treat you the best and whoever love you the best and treat you the way you want to be treated, by all means. But for this nigga to think because he laying up with some Keisha that it's okay to go talk about who somebody else lay up with, he is so out of pocket when he out here pulling napkins out the crack of his ass to go clean a white man's mouth. Who's cooning now, nigga? He doing more than cooning. He tap dancing.
I just was like, I mean, the whole thing with Leon Love then gave me like a bad taste in my mouth. Like, you know, it was just like his actions. And then he tried to have the audacity to say that boxing isn't about race, man. How can he? I don't even see how any nigga could sit up here with a straight face and tell a lie like that. Like,
if you don't look at the history of boxing, it's been based on boxing is a racial sport. Where have you? And if you for you to even say that with a straight face, either you living under a rock, a prison cell, or you just plain out dumb to even utter those type of words.
Well, like I said, this is like the highlight of his life. This is like the only thing that he got going for him. So, you know, to be under, you know, fake Paul's thumb, but now he probably like, you know, like, okay, so now what happens next?
And let me give y'all some insight on Jake Paul, Jay Leon Love, because had his ass not been out spending Floyd's money, flaunting that TMT chain and drinking at fights that he wasn't involved in, and training, actually putting some effort into the craft that he was supposed to be perfecting, maybe he actually would have, you know, been in position to win a title. I mean, Ishe Smith got one. Why couldn't he? But he think it's cool to piggyback on somebody else's success and act like he doing something, talking about the brothers are here. We just trying to earn some money. Or it just sounds like you say, well, guess what? Massa over here. I was just trying to keep Massa house clean. Why you got to talk bad about Massa son like that? All I was trying to do is work in the big house and sleep on a nice bed. You just stay over there in your cot with the rest of them niggas over there.
No, No, you know what it also remind me of, and I don't even like giving dude no juice. I'm not gonna say his name, but I know you just see that goofy ass YouTuber, that mixed dude who be walking around with that other coon ass nigga that be going into them stores calling everybody boy and stuff.
Oh, you know.
Yeah, that's Jay Leon Love is the dude that he be like, Henry, you stand like, man. Like every time I see like some of his videos, like I'll be thinking to myself, man, somebody needs to like put both of them niggas down. But yeah, that's who Jay Leon Love is. That don't you talk back to Master?
Hey, now listen here now. You not gonna talk about Massa now because Massa done treat me good. You don't see these night clothes that I gets to wear and I gets to eat. I gets to eat from Massa. I don't got to.
Yeah, you know, Mix. You know who I'm talking about, right? Yeah, you know who I'm talking about. I can't stand that dude. And he usually be in Atlanta. I'm surprised somebody ain't put him down. I know Boosie now. I know one of Boosie's guys socked him, but yeah, that's who Jay Leon Love is. He the dude that be
pass me the peanut butter, boy.
Yeah, he the one that be like, "Don't you talk back to Massa?" I was like,
"Don't you? What you say about Massa treat me good? I don't know what about your dumb ass. There, maybe if your ass takes some initiative and gets up and works you when you instead of sit there and take sick days off, maybe your ass will get somewhere. But Massa treat me good. I just don't care if I don't knows how to read." Oh, fucking
yeah, I know, acting like the nigga on Life. You know the dude. Like he acting like that nigga on Life who will be holding the gun, who be like, don't you cross the gun line.
the gun line, boss. Look, you probably remember that scene in Life where Anthony Anderson, when they was imagining the club and he walked up to Anthony Anderson, he said, "Sit down and shut your fat ass up, boy." That nigga probably done said that to every nigga that done oppose Jake Paul. Shut your ass up, boy. I was just trying to make a living.
Yeah,
Everything's good here,
well,
boy.
well, that's the thing. Everybody agree with us, but like I said, it's like that song by Bobby Womack with Jay Leon Love. Like, where do we go from here? Like, and I'm gonna tell you right now, like, now that this charade with Jake Paul over now, it's gonna get bad for him in the streets too, because now people know that this was just a charade. So I guess Jake Paul better have more security. Now, maybe Logan will be stupid enough to fight Anthony Joshua because I would almost like for him to like sleep both of them. But me and you both know Anthony Joshua could beat Jake and Logan Paul at the same time.
And you know what's crazy? It made me believe that Timothy Bradley was right. I think he could have beat Anthony Joshua and Jay Leon Love at the same time.
Oh, you mean Jake Paul and
Yeah, I think he could have beat both of them fools in the same time, in the same night. The way that fool looked tonight, because I didn't see not a lick of talent in Jake Paul tonight.
Listen. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. Like probably now it would be tough for me, but but my form is far better than Jake Paul's. My form is far better than Jake Paul's. I'm far better trained in boxing than Jake Paul. I'm just telling you now, like
All you need is the condition. That's it.
10, 15 years ago, shit. Man, I'm gonna be honest with you, shit. Anderson Silva looked better than fucking Jake Paul did.
Oh, Anderson Silva looked compared to Jake Paul. Anderson Silva looked like and he has been boxing for years. It's just that he was.
And I'm gonna be honest with you, Anderson Silva. I really wish if he would have left MMA like maybe 10, 15 years earlier, Anderson Silva really could have been a decent boxer, because that uppercut that he hit Tyron Woodley Wood, that was a nice uppercut.
It was clean.
That was a real, but we know what happened with him and Jake Paul, and that's what I'm saying. It's funny. It's always a different type of effect when you fight Jake Paul. And like I said, the well has ran dry with Jake Paul, because like I said before, we see it now. It's like dude said on the Pineapple Express, we synced it. He can't be. I don't think he cannot be rebranded. It's just like nothing that people can do. You would have to be incredibly fucking stupid to believe that Jake Paul could actually rebound and
I'm gonna tell you what this is. And I just realized Jake Paul benefited more than any human on the planet Earth from the pandemic. The fact that nobody had nothing to watch.
Exactly.
With any type of intrigue, y'all got to remember this. When Jake Paul will put him on the map was him knocking out Nate Robinson. And y'all
but what is Nate what is Nate Robinson though?
Exactly.
He's a fucking NBA player.
And the fact that we didn't have no NBA finals for how long was the lockdown?
Man, we didn't have the NBA finals for a while.
We didn't have no NBA, no NFL.
They had that bubble. They had that, yeah. So
but until the bubble came into play in late September, that happened in the summer. And we had to just deal with the fact that, listen, we just happy to have something to watch. That's why Jake Paul's popular. That's where his popularity came from. It didn't come from us actually being interested, because if this had happened in the height of 2018-19, when we was really getting we was literally getting fights every week. I mean, Town, you probably had so many opportunities to cover fights. You probably was like, damn, I can't make this one. I wish I had somebody on my team. This is way before me and Town started doing business together. If he came out around that time, Jake Paul would be similar. His events would be similar to when like Shane Mosley was sparring Shaq on Channel 5. I don't know what Channel Fox is in the back.
He really capitalized off of COVID.
Yeah, it was literally like lightning in a bottle. And like you said, time is up. The time literally came up. Unlike his brother, though, I will give his brother some credit. His brother went and took the professional wrestling route when he realized he couldn't win no professional fight against Floyd, and he didn't do good against the other YouTuber from the UK. I can't remember his name right now.
Well, against KSI.
Yeah, and the fact that I think Jake tried to portray, unlike Jake, Logan was just like, I'm a white boy. I think Jake was trying to do the typical wigger move where he wore the jewelry. He, he lived the playboy lifestyle, and was spending a lot of money, and then just figured, hey, I could capitalize off of the artistry of hip hop and and black culture in general, and I could use it to kind of milk and get my way in. You know how they do. We all know how they do. They
Yeah,
try.
he's like what you would call he was like what you would call a flea market swap meet version of boxing version of John Cena, and
Yes,
that
yes, yes. That's exactly kind of what it was. He was just he said, listen, and kudos. Like I said, I'm gonna give his brother his credit when it comes to being a wrestler. He's pretty talented. Jake, on the other hand, when it comes to this boxing shit, if you had all this time, like you said, his whole backstory, I want to give y'all a nice visual and some clarity. He said he had the whole lockdown pandemic. He said he had 6 years to work on his craft and hone in on it. I know people that have been working at boxing for the same amount of time, and their technique, what were you actually working on in this time? Because I didn't see a crisp jab. I didn't even see proper holding. Every time he held Anthony Joshua, fell to his knees like he was trying to perform a weird act on him. He didn't jab. I didn't see a nice straight. I didn't see a signature punch. He threw that ugly overhand when he was caught in the corner. He was always out of position. And then he just started skipping. He didn't even feint properly, which is why I said there had to be some type of script involved. And even if there was a script involved, I hope he got caught clean and didn't bite a bag of cherry syrup to pretend that he was bleeding or something like that. Because I really hope he did get cold cocked, and I hope he thinks twice.
well they showed the punch from like several different angles. They had people that was actually there. He really did connect to his jaw. You did hear like a popping sound, so he probably did like break his jaw. He did really, but then that's the thing though.
Script though, that like, listen, you just gonna hit me one good time, and I'm gonna go down, and I'm gonna stay down.
Nah, he look, the body shots was bothering him. Like
And
I look.
where's his abs? Because you're supposed to be doing all this conditioning and training. Where are your abs?
The only thing he was training for was just the run. That was his whole game plan. Because I'm talking about he was backing up. I thought he was going to go toe to toe with him, and like I said, um, we know that now that Jake Paul is under. He not even basic. He's a little bit under basic. He's and you got, and I understood, like I said, I understood the boxing world. I know it was their duty to try to get people like geeked about this fight, but me and you both knew this fight was going to only end in one way.
Yeah,
You know,
and I just want y'all to like just imagine what like I felt like this time last year, whenever we had the Mike Tyson, fight with Jake. Imagine where we were there, and then imagine if Jake Paul had came out and beat Anthony Joshua. Do you know what kind of mockery we would be in at this point? The place and the space boxing would be in, it would literally be a trickle town. Do you not realize it would be a trickle down effect going on? In
yeah.
a month's time, we got Shakur Stevenson versus Teofimo Lopez. I didn't stutter. And the fact that we had that, and the whole event would probably be centered around Jake Paul, and everyone asking, is boxing on life support?
boxing would have been in deep trouble if Jake Paul would have won that fight, let alone had knocked Anthony Joshua out. I wasn't even worried about it because, like I said, I knew Jake Paul didn't have a
A
white
bad chance
snowball
to hell.
chance in hell of winning that fight. And if anybody thought that Jake Paul won that fight, but then again, you had that moron Drake. This is why he just keep taking L's, man. Like you actually bet 250K on Logan Paul to win that fight, bro.
He ain't never seen the L he wasn't willing to take.
I mean, dude, you just man, everything is going bad for you. You go to Toronto, and then the Dodgers end up winning the World Series. You jinxed the you jinxed the Blue Jays, so it's just like, bro, it's just like you bad luck slip rock right now, man.
Definitely. He tried to slight the Clips, and then they end up. He tried to say he put out rumors that the Clips wasn't selling no tickets. Every show on their tour was sold out. Shout out to my boy Q, who's the Clips DJ too. So he just was out here just doing bad. Drake is bad luck. Let's if Drake bet on something, just bet the opposite. You'll probably come up.
Yeah, it's been the last year and some change been really bad for Drake. Then not to mention losing lawsuits and suing and all that type of shit. And that's another thing. Like speaking of lawsuits, like this is another thing that be pissing me off. I always tell people you always gonna see who real about this shit, not trill. But so you see who real and who not. Now, here's the thing. Now, Devin Haney got all this flack for the lawsuit versus Ryan Garcia, which he dropped.
Which was well warranted, by the way. Keep going.
Yeah, and it was warranted. But then here it is. Anthony Joshua is sending Deontay Wilder a cease and desist letter. But there was no videos calling Jake Paul a crybaby and saying he's soft. But every coon and their mama has something to say about Devin Haney. So it just goes to show you. So let me get this straight. Oh, you don't have no problem with the white boy filing a lawsuit against a black man, but Devin Haney files a lawsuit, rightfully so, against Ryan Garcia.
Somebody who broke
cheated,
a contract.
Didn't make weight, cheated, and not to mention the stuff that he said afterwards.
Oh, and tested for more than one substance too.
Ryan Garcia, and tell them the truth, Migs, you from New York, he failed 3 drug tests.
He failed 3 separate drug tests. It's not just the Ostarine.
And it wasn't a smidget of Ostarine. He has 60 times the normal amount. So
and yesterday he was on that show. I forget the name of the show, but he was on the show talking about I don't believe Sabril Matias really took it. There's a what he tried to explain it like it was like contamination with vitamins, and that's what's causing all these Ostarine.
No, that's a lie, because I buy supplements and all that. All you got to do is check the bottle. Everybody got a smartphone. Everybody got a computer primarily. All you got to do, you can go to either Wikipedia, you could go to Google. They will tell you what this substance is, what it's made out of, and what. So
remember he tried to blame ashwagandha, which is a natural. Which comes from the earth. He said it was ashwagandha at first. And when he did it, he didn't realize that you could fact check these things. When he put that out on Twitter, it came out that it fact checked. The manufacturer came out and debunked everything, and he deleted the tweet.
Yeah, no, because listen, like Roger Goodell say, you are responsible for what goes in your body. If you are too stupid to read a label, listen. Just like just like the way I exercise, like I got my my Beats, the Beat fruit chews and stuff. I'll look on the back and see what the ingredients is, even though I don't have a fight coming up. So it tells you what the shit is made out of. So if you have a question about any ingredient, like I said, that's what
what is your nutrition?
That's what Google.
But a lot of people forget. We got to put this into perspective. A lot of people forget Ryan Garcia, prior to that Devin Haney fight, he was out drinking, partying, every single day. Y'all, some of y'all's favorite YouTubers were coming up to me telling me Ryan Garcia is going to lose that fight because he had not been in training camp at all. He had a 3-week training camp for that fight, meaning he planned to F off the weight. He planned to not make weight at all clean. And he probably had also planned on having a dramatic weight cut in a short period of time. That man cheated. There was one thing I wanted to ask you on the back end of this. I'm gonna let you get your thought off town, and then I'm gonna ask you another question to pivot real quick.
Go ahead. Let's get it.
All right. So recently, I'm pretty sure you did a video. I haven't been on YouTube the last couple of days because work been a little bit hectic, but we had the announcement of Terrence Crawford retiring. Now, a lot of people who all of a sudden are WBC stands and warriors, they've been coming out talking about Terrence Crawford, his legacy, where he ranks amongst other fighters who are within his age gap. This morning, I had a serious debate on Twitter when it comes to the Vasyl Lomachenko, Triple G, Terrence Crawford, Oscar De La Hoya ranking. Now, I'm gonna say this: Oscar De La Hoya, is similar to Canelo Alvarez. He's fought a lot of names. If you look at his resume, no wins, no losses, and you don't put it into context, Oscar De La Hoya, you can say, oh, well, he's beat the best competition, better than Terrence Crawford, this, that, and the third. I'm going to tell you this right now. In my opinion, Terrence Crawford stepped in the ring with Oscar De La Hoya from any weight, from 140 to up until 168 pounds. Terrence Crawford would knock the beef and bean burrito out of Oscar De La Hoya. But that's not the fact I wanted to make. People are really out here saying that Vasyl Lomachenko has a better resume than Terrence Crawford and are trying to discredit Terrence Crawford, saying that the only 2 wins that are credible that he has is Errol Spence Jr. and Canelo Alvarez. I need to know your thoughts on this.
First of all, anybody that think Vasily Lomachenko has a better resume than Terrence Crawford, they're either stupid, racist, or clueless about boxing, or all 3 of them. First of all, Vasily Lomachenko in his second fight lost to a dude that drives Uber and had no, he like Salido literally is, for real, drives either Uber or Lyft. And
can I ask you a question? Who is in chat? Y'all let me know. I want to know. I tried to ask people if they can name me 5. What is Lomachenko's top 5 wins in his career?
Well, first of all, Lomachenko to me didn't need beat Jermaine Ortiz. Anybody with common sense that and I'm glad, and people are, and people finally starting to tell the truth that he lost to Devin Haney. You can't, and he lost to Teofimo. He lost to Teofimo Lopez. That's what I'm saying.
He lost to Teofimo Lopez, Devin Haney. He should have lost to Jermaine Ortiz, all in the same fashion. You cannot give up 5 to 6 of the first rounds. You can't give up the first half of the fight and think that you're going to drown somebody when you're smaller than these dudes. When you're not a power puncher, you ain't like that. When it comes to your boxing, that may work when you was at 126.
And to be honest with you, he damn near was on the verge to losing to George Lenoris. If he doesn't get the stoppage, he's on the verge of losing.
That was the first time you've been dropped. You're right. And the only time you've been dropped, as far as I'm concerned.
So to sit up there and say that there is no form or no version of Lomachenko that's better than Terrence Crawford. Like I said, a lot of people like pushing narratives, and the WBC, they full of shit because at the end of the day, they screwed over Alicia Baumgardner. Basically, they
said, and they pointed it out today on the broadcast. They said, well, she used to be undisputed, but the WBC needs to get it together. So let's just get this straight. And I also want to bring this into context because this is not although he's not my favorite fighter, I'm not bashing Canelo. Because he hadn't came out. Somebody had tried to put out a fake tweet and say that he was talking about Bud. And I went and did my own fact checking. He did not. So I'm not going to go in on him because I definitely can. When Canelo Alvarez was at 154 and moved up to 60 and fought Cotto and took the WBC strap off Cotto, I know you remember vividly, Town. I was watching your videos. the WBC tried to enforce Triple G as the mandatory to fight Canelo Alvarez, which does not make any sense because Triple G was quote unquote a unified titleist at the time. When Canelo did not want to secede and bow down to it should be the WWE, but the WBC's demands, they stripped Canelo and gave Triple G the belt. They didn't let Triple G fight for it. They gifted him the belt. Canelo Alvarez then said he would never fight for the belt again. Not only did he never fight for the belt again, he literally crippled the WBC. He didn't hold a secondary belt until they met all of his demands. And to make up for it years later, Canelo Alvarez versus Javier Uderman was gifted David Benavidez's title. It's weird shit like this. I'm pretty sure Canelo negotiated that he would only play a flat rate, not going up with his purse. He probably only played a flat rate from what I've heard. I don't want to put out no numbers. And also, I am pretty damn sure that Canelo Alvarez also was getting preferential treatment when it came to certain things going into his body and exemptions, because the WBC also recently in the past 2 weeks said that they would be lowering. Ever since Canelo popped hot for it, they said they were going to lower Ostarine rates, and just recently they said they were going to lower the they lowered the clenbuterol, and they were going to lower the Ostarine rates. How is Subriel Matias allowed to fight for a title, to defend his title, when his A sample and B sample came back positive? This clown ass organization has the nerve to talk about a 3-time undisputed champion whose purse they done took money out of, and they trying to shake him down for $500,000. Are you out of your goddamn minds? And then they try to degrade him by saying that he's disrespecting the sport. Last time I checked, in my Nipsey Hussle voice, y'all niggas need us in the sport because y'all don't be packing them goddamn arenas out when it's just y'all in there. That's what last time I checked.
Yeah, thank you for saying that, because like that's a lie about that. Just basically they pack the arenas and that they're buying all the tickets. That's cap. Like I said before, I just did two fights that featured, Hispanics and particularly Mexicans as the main event. I just did a fight last week with Diego Pacheco. Nice guy, but I don't even think there was 2,000 people at that fight. Then I went to see Virgil Ortiz. I went to, Fort Worth, Dallas.
Oh, wait. You mean the same Virgil Ortiz who's supposed to be demanding $10 million to fight Jerron Ennis? That Virgil Ortiz? Is he generating anything like that? How did the crowd look?
It was like the Dickies Arena is a very small outlet. It's a very small arena. Well, I think at capacity it hold around 13,000. It was like 4,000 people there, so it wasn't. He didn't even fill up half of the stadium. So, and he's from Texas, and we all know that there's a big
Mexican fan base in Texas.
Yeah, it's a big Mexican fan base in Texas, but nobody came to see him fight. So I'm just like, okay, so I'm thinking that it's gonna be filled to capacity. It's just like everybody else. You have to have a fan base to sell tickets. Just like, okay, we know Charlo can't sell tickets.
Nope.
We know he can't sell tickets. There's a few other people. We know Lomachenko couldn't sell tickets, and we know Teofimo Lopez. Like I said,
me and you was in the big room. Matter of fact, we covered 2 Teofimo fights back to back. We covered Teofimo Lopez versus Sandor Martin in the big room.
And a fight that he lost.
Oh, another one that he lost versus Sam. What was the crowd looking like that night? You want to give the people a visual?
It was so bad. It was less than 7,000 people there.
Okay, and they closed off the top portion of the guard. And then in the summertime, we doubled back in June, and we covered Teofimo Lopez. He got downgraded to the Little Room, which is the theater. They call it the Hulu Theater at Madison Square Garden. Predominantly, what fan base would you say was in there when he was fighting Josh Taylor?
Shit, they was mostly there for Josh Taylor.
Oh yeah, they was there for Josh Taylor. So listen, the and listen, Hispanics, they do garner some support. We get it. Like we said a half hour ago, boxing is a racial sport. It is what it is, right? And there's no, and just a disclaimer, there is absolutely nothing wrong. If you're Italian, if you like Vito Milnecki and you're Italian, by all means, root for Vito Milnecki. If you're
Yeah.
Russian and you like Artur Beterbiev, root for your Russian comrade. If you are Mexican and you want to root for a Mexican fighter like a Canelo Alvarez, there's nothing wrong with it. Puerto Rican, Dominican, nothing wrong. But don't you dare tell anybody, whether they be from the West Indies, Black American, Africa, or anybody from the African diaspora that looks at a black man and says, I'm rooting for the black guy, do not follow it up with, oh, why you gotta be racial. Listen, stupid ass, it's because the sport is built on that, okay? And there's nothing wrong with having racial pride at all.
No, that applies to everybody but black people. We the only ones that that we're told that we're community property and we have to root for everybody. No, everybody can root for their ethnic group except us. We have to root for whoever they tell us to root for. Like
Oh,
I
you're
said,
right. We're not allowed to have an opinion on it because
yeah,
why it always got to be about race and why are you racist? In order, listen, shut your ass up, shut your stupid ass up, because people gonna sit here and tell me, oh, you racist because you root for. Why don't you want to root for Canelo? Because he's flat-footed and slow. That's why.
First of all, why the fuck would I root for Canelo? First of all, listen, for
He's
obvious
a fucking
reasons.
cheater.
For one, yeah. Besides that, why the fuck would I root for Canelo?
Why would
Like,
you?
why
Why?
would I?
Oh,
Why
you
would
mean great value, James Toney?
I?
He tries to box like he's black.
So why would I? So the same people that are telling us we can't root for, anybody that look like us, these were the same people that were rooting for. They were rooting for Lomachenko when he fought, Devin Haney. They were rooting for Sergey Kovalov when he fought Andre Ward.
Andre Ward. And look, you know how many times I've
So
heard Hispanics say, and it's I got Hispanic people. I got Hispanic people that's in my corner. I mess with a lot of Hispanic people, but you know how many times I heard people I don't know that's Hispanic tell me, "Oh, I'm rooting for Lomachenko versus Devin Haney." Why? I just don't like Devin Haney. Why don't you like Devin Haney? What about Devin Haney you don't like? It's never, oh, I don't like his footwork. I don't like his jab. I don't like his defense. I don't like his punch output. It's just, well, I just don't like him. Well, it sounds like you don't like the fact that he's black and he's proud of being black. Or it's, oh, today I had somebody try to tell me, oh, you just a Bill Haney fanboy. What in the hell is wrong with half of y'all? Did y'all not grow up with fathers? Did y'all not get hugs as children? It just makes me wonder because where does y'all lack of pride come from? And it's black people telling me this too, by the way.
well, them are the black people that got lured into a van
Oh, like Childish Gambino in that episode of
they got lured into a van by a guy that said he got candy for him. So that's what those are the type of people that talk like that. So um go figure. Bad things happen when you get in that van. So yeah,
you can't. My whole point. I think the moral of the story is you can't be out here talking about some. You can't tell people. Town is from the Bay Area. I'm from New York. When it comes to, even though you don't have a team no more, Town, my bad, but I can't tell Town he can't root for the Athletics, and he can't tell me I can't root for the Mets. I'm a New Yorker. He's from the Bay Area. Why wouldn't we do that? We're going to root for people from our region. I'm going to root for people that I can relate to. Although he's younger than me, why wouldn't I relate to Devin Haney? He looks like me.
Yeah, exactly. Well, exactly. And like that just don't make any sense. And I think it take nerve for people that don't know anything about the black experience to tell somebody that's actually black that we
What they
can't root
compete,
for whoever we want to.
or what we should like, or try to dictate what we should like. Oh, because they white and they say so in your voice, in my town biz voice. You can't do that. Like come on now. Like let's really be subjective about things and use our brains here. Like we supposed to be having intelligent and objective conversations. Just to let y'all know, me and Town don't agree on probably 50% of the topics that we even talk about. We see eye to eye on this one, but at the end of the day, most of the shit is respectful. He got his own mind. I got my own mind. I don't see why boxing is this sport where all of a sudden now everybody got to have this group think and everybody has to think alike. No. That's not how shit is going to work when it comes to me at all whatsoever. You ain't going to tell me who I root for. Because for Town to tell you, when it comes to the sport, I could break down any goddamn fight and tell you why I feel like a fighter is going to lose or a fighter is going to win. And if they lose, I'll just be like, damn it, well, you know what? I was wrong. And I'll go back and say I was wrong. Shit. It ain't like I lost any money on it. It ain't like I'm going, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's understandable. That's commendable. Because you thought Brian Norman Jr. was going to beat Deb.
And look, I got that shit on record. I put it on there and I said that he might stop Dev. And guess what? And I told Town months before, I said, it ain't going to look there. And when Dev went in there and whooped his ass out, boy, was I happy he did. Put the Beast by Dre's on him.
Hey, Devin better than what we give him credit for. Like I said,
way better.
Devin gonna surprise a lot of people. Listen, he may not win every fight, but he gonna be in every fight. And and that's just real talk. Because I can tell you right now, he gonna find, if Tank ever had the guts to get in the ring with him, he gonna find a way to beat Tank.
Oh no, I think that fight is far removed. I think once he gets the what's that character's name from UK? That Eddie worked with the guy that holds the IBF. Once he beats him, he gonna get cemented as he's gonna be full-fledged welterweight. I don't think Tank gonna want no problems unless they give him a bag that suffices. Something ridiculous.
Well, from what I've been told, that they are going to try to start negotiations for, what's his name, Lewis Crocker.
Crocker, yes, there you go.
Because Al, he already knew that this was going to happen. I already knew Al was going to run interference. I already knew Al was going to tell Rolly to say he don't want to fight Devin Haney. So
he's a goddamn Rolly's a goddamn character. They trying to bank on the Pacquiao. They trying to bank on the Pacquiao payday, thinking that that's gonna pull through. But I'm not gonna lie to you. If the Pacquiao payday falls through now, and just I just want y'all to visualize the play, because PBC, they do the fire sale. The Rolly Pacquiao thing is hoping that Pacquiao gets the W the same way that they did with Barrios, so that not Floyd, but so that Tank can say he's a 3-division world champion or is it 4, Town? No, 3-division world champion. No, 4-division world champion, and go in there and ice Manny Pacquiao. That is not a play for Floyd. That is the pump fake. They go pivot and try to get Tank at welterweight, and then maybe, which I still don't think, he end up fighting somebody. It would more the Devin Haney fight is probably 98.9% done, as in never happening. I feel like we would more likely be seeing a Shakur versus Tank than Devin, but probably never see a Devin versus Tank.
I don't even think we may get that fight. I just think Tank just having in his mind, it's just certain dudes he just not gonna go near. I think whether people want to believe it or not, I think Tank's confidence is a little shaken based off his performance against Lamont Roach.
And with all this bullshit tonight, Tank should have just took that rematch, man. And you know how I feel about that one. I feel like Tank would have got him.
Tank should have just
handled that business.
I think he should have spared everybody this trouble of seeing this with Jake Paul and just have made the damn fight, and then we could have all been happy We could have been talking about a rematch, and then we wouldn't have even had to worry about seeing whatever this is. I mean, like
This
it
work
really,
shoot, this work shoot tonight.
I mean, it really looked like a man versus a boy, and it was just. And for Logan, and then Logan Paul did an interview with my homeboy, KO Sports. He said that he told a bold faced lie, man. He said he thought his brother won at least 3 rounds. Man, if you don't get your
Children?
if you don't get your dumb ass, if you don't get your dumb ass out of here, man, like
You thought he won what?
uh, maybe the first, and that's because AJ really didn't do nothing. It was just like a filling out process. I just think that AJ was just trying to figure out what Logan Paul was going to do, which it was pretty easy to see what his plan was just to try to backpedal and last as long as he could, and then he gassed out. So like he was gonna get it.
That whatever the game plan was, that it was null and void opening seconds of the round. Like that's not how you beat an Anthony Joshua. I don't know how you would have beat an Anthony Joshua.
He could have beat him if he brought a baseball bat to the ring.
I don't even think that would have helped him. He would have had to bring a shot.
Maybe,
Not a baseball bat. Not with the way he was running around.
Man, I don't even think he would have been able to beat Anthony Joshua with loaded gloves. I don't even think he would have been able to beat him with that shit Margarito had in his gloves, or if he would have had some stacked gloves. I just don't. Man, when he hit Anthony Joshua with that overhand, and Anthony Joshua just laughed it off. Anthony Joshua was like, "Damn, did he just hit me?" I mean, he didn't even feel like. And this is what we be trying to explain, man. It's levels. It's just levels to it.
That fight, that work shoot that we just saw. I'm not gonna call that shit a fight. That work shoot that we just saw, that was comical. Like I really want to imagine what would have happened had, first of all, had AJ lost, he would never be able to box again.
Man, what did I tell you? I said if AJ had lost that fight, he needed to have reconstructive surgery and just, disappear somewhere, go on a secluded remote island where nobody sees him ever again. Man, do you think he would have been able to go back to the UK, man? And the part of the UK he be at is like sort of like the hood. Do you really think he would have been able to show his face?
I know AJ, when he does come to the US, I know that Miami is where he if he does do a training camp, it is in Miami. I know he stays in Miami. He would have had to find a permanent residence in Miami because he wouldn't have been able to go home. Because when it comes to boxing, like you and I, we keep up with boxing on a daily basis, but the UK, they had different level of fanatics. Like they like club fights on top of the mainstream fights. Like AJ wouldn't have been able to survive out there. He couldn't have walked the streets.
Man, they would have been, dude. They would have been laughing at him, and they would have been like, "That's the dude that lost to the YouTuber." And man, that would have affected everybody. Man, that wouldn't have just affected him. That would have affected, man. That would have affected the community. Like, that would have affected all of us.
It would have been a big embarrassment. I'm just happy that that this is all over. I didn't want it to happen. I didn't want to see it. But we gonna see what's next. We gonna see where we go with it with the sport. I can't say that I don't know my level of excitement for AJ versus Fury. I can't say that it's really high because I feel like this is more of like a swan song per se. I feel like the same thing with Usyk and Wilder, even though you already know who I'm rooting for with that one, but I feel like it's a swan song, so I don't know if my level of excitement. Maybe the day of the fight, I might be a little bit more excited. I ain't gonna be like racing home to see it, but as long as Jake Paul ain't involved in the main boxing scene anymore, I still feel like somehow, some way. How would you feel if they turn around and announce, let's say in the summer, that Jake Paul and Tank go fight?
Nobody ain't gonna watch that shit. Nobody okay. It's just like, what our homie said. I do not care. I do not care. No, I do not care. At this point, anybody listening to this stream, do anybody have any interest in seeing Jake Paul versus Tank? No. BB King said it himself. The thrill is gone, and I don't even think it was a thrill with Jake Paul. It was more like this thing or whatever we call it. I think is gone now. Because, like I said, what is there else for him to do? Do you really? What he gonna do? He gonna turn around and say, "I want to fight Arthur Beterbiev," or he's like, and then get put in the stretcher?
I mean, I'd love to see him fight Arthur Beterbiev.
He ain't gonna fight. He's not stupid.
Or Andre Ward.
I'm gonna hit Dre. I'm gonna hit Dre on Instagram and see what he. I don't think. Listen, I don't even think Dre interested in that fight because Dre is only like 41. Dre is still in decent shape. Dre is not in fighting shape, but he takes care of himself.
Or he can get in fighting shape. If you give him a good 6 months, he gonna get in fighting shape. I think Dre still think that he could beat Anthony Joshua.
I'm not in liberty to say, but I've been hearing some stuff because listen, you never know. But I know a Jake Paul and Andre Ward fight that's out the window, and we all know that Andre Ward ain't following no script. And we all know Bud, and we all know. So now, as far as Bud goes, Bud might as well just move on because now we know what Bud would have did to him.
Oh, Bud would have killed his ass. Bud would have killed his ass. That I don't even think that ain't nothing to even question.
And I could tell you right now, Jake Paul can't do shit with Andre Ward.
Not what? Can't touch it. That's a mess.
Andre Ward don't go in there and he gonna try to piece Jake Paul up.
That's a master boxer. He would probably let Jake Paul last in that ring up until the last 2 seconds and then decide, I'm gonna knock you out now. Remember in Harlem Nights where he said, "This way I knock your ass out."
Yeah. Now Dre would just pound on Jake Paul for like 3 or 4 rounds. I think he would quit. I think he would quit. He would humiliate him.
Yeah, he would. It would literally be some like no mas kind of situation where he just wave it off and be like, all right. And then we'd see what Jay Leon Love do.
Now, hey, but that's funny though, because when they was interviewing Logan Paul before the fight, he was saying, "Yeah, my brother is much more than the YouTuber." Then after the fight, he talked about, "Well, my brother's a YouTuber anyway, so I mean, it's like he you got to give him credit. I ain't giving them no credit. You don't deserve credit for what, man?"
If he would have went in, the only way he would have got in there and got credit from me is if he would have literally went in there and turned into Rocky and just started trading heavy blows.
We'll see. I guess he. Well, here's the thing. Unlike Rocky, at least Rocky actually tried to fight Apollo Creed.
So, had he went in there and pulled a Rocky and tried to fight like Rocky did and put up a valiant effort, then I would have been like, you know what? I don't like dude, but he went in there. But no, that's not. He's not. This isn't Candyland, and Santa Claus ain't going down no chimneys around here. Sorry, buddy. You got your ass kicked. You got your jaw broke, and hopefully the check clears the medical bill.
Nah, he made a lot of money. I'm waiting to see what the numbers. I'm waiting to see. I mean, if you get the numbers before I do, let me know, because I'm dying to see what type of numbers they did, how many people watched this fight.
Yeah, you know what? I'm not gonna lie. I feel like it did. Good because a lot of people was texting me during the fight, asking me was I tuned in and shit like that. So I think that overall, it probably did fair.
We'll know probably by tomorrow or Sunday.
Yeah, definitely before the Monday the news sweeps in.
All right. Hey, well, Migs, I appreciate you coming on here. So
You
tell
already know.
everybody, tell everybody about your channel. Tell everybody how to find you on social media and everything,
All
and
right,
tell them
so
what's the next fight you gonna be doing.
all right, so the next fight we're gonna go backwards. So for the next fight, we're gonna be in my hometown of New York City. The big room, Madison Square Garden, Shakur Stevenson. We're gonna be getting news, updates, content for Town's channel, my channel. My channel, by the way, it's a working title, so all you gotta do is type in MIGGAVEII and you can also find my Instagram and Twitter, same at name. That is MIGGAVEII. It's Megavelli. Make sure y'all tune in. We got the cool little we got the comic book where I tell the stories, we do breakdowns, we do reactions, and then I'm working on my little docu-series called PBC Chronicles, the fall of a budding dynasty. So we have part 1 right now. Check out all the content and make sure y'all stick with my man's Town Biz because we building over here.
All right, y'all. You heard the man. All right, we out.
Peace.
Peace.